Peace, family. This is Tariq. Welcome back again for another day, another episode of Knowledge Corner. All right, today's insight: created for connection. Created for connection. I get this from the song Just Don't Want to Be Lonely by Blue Magic. This is another Blue Magic song off of their debut album that was released in 1973. The part of the song that we're going to focus on is the part that resonated with me the most, is when they say, I'd rather be loved, needed, depended on to give the love I can give when you're gone. I'd rather be loved, needed, depended on to give the love I can give when you're gone. Created for connection. I just don't want to be lonely. I believe for every man, there is a season of our lives that we are supposed to be by ourselves. In order for us to fully understand where God wants us to go in our lives, and for us to put things in perspective and try to put things in order. But the problem with that is you have a lot of men and women who are so used to being by themselves, they do not know how to function in a relationship with anyone else. We are and we were created for connecting with other individuals. We were not meant to be by ourselves forever. We are a collective species. We function in a collective. It's okay to be by yourself, at times, but it's not meant for you to be by yourself at all times. Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him. Even in the Bible, you look at Adam in the Garden of Eden. Adam was by himself for so long. At that point, he had started working, in the garden, on the land. He had named all the animals and everything, but he was by himself. So what did God do? God created him a helpmate from his rib, and that helpmate became Eve. So at that point, he was no longer alone. I've been in relationships pretty much my whole life. I've been in long-term relationships. Some relationships didn't last long. Some relationships aren't meant to last long, but I've really been in long-term, relationships, in my life. Prior to my current marriage, I was with the same woman for 20 years. We weren't married the whole 20 years, but we were together a total of 20 years. Did we have our ups and downs? Yes. Do we have ups and downs in my current marriage? Yes. That's a part of life. Relationships aren't always going to be easy. There's always going to be times in a relationship that you're going to be tested. And depending on how you handle adversity will determine the outcome of the relationship that you're in. A lot of us don't have a gauge to look at for a healthy relationship. And if you've never seen a healthy relationship, you're somewhat behind the eight ball, where you don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. So you're somewhat going into a situation blind. My parents were married almost 30 years. You know, my father passed away a couple months before my parents' 30th wedding anniversary. They had their ups and downs, like any relationship, and they weathered the storm. When I look at, my current wife, her parents have been married 48 years. That's a very long time. So she has been able to see a healthy relationship blossom, even though she knows that they had their issues, just like any relationship. They were able to work those situations out and work it through. Why? Because we were created for connection. A lot of us get into relationships with people because we're lonely, and those relationships do not serve our better good. They don't serve where we're supposed to be going in life. We overlook the red flags because we think we may be able to change that person. And that's not how life goes. A person is only going to be able to change if they want to change, and they're changing for themselves and they're not changing for you. And I think a lot of people get that misconstrued when they get into a relationship with someone and the red flags are glaring in front of them, and they just say, well, I'll just be able to change him. It doesn't work that way. A person's not going to be able to change unless they decide to change themselves. Surah Ar-Rum, which is the 30th surah. This is the 21st ayat in the Qur'an, in this book. And among his signs is this, that he created for you mates, and from among yourselves, that you may dwell in tranquility with them. And he has put love and mercy between you, your hearts. Verily in that are signs for those who reflect. It goes back into what I said on a previous message. Our heart is our gateway to a lot of things, not our eyes, but our heart. Our heart, our spirit are able to tell us certain things about another person that our eyes are not going to be able to. When you have someone, your spirit, your heart is going to be able to tell you, this is that person, or this is something that I should be messing with. When it's not right, your spirit is going to let you know. But again, a lot of us overlook what our heart and what our soul, our spirit is telling us because we don't want to be alone. And even though we were created for connection, not every connection is a good one. And I'm not just talking about a relationship between, a physical relationship. I'm also talking about friendships. Friendships are connections as well. And every friendship is not meant to last the test of time. There may be friendships that are supposed to last a season. There may be friendships that you're supposed to learn something from, but we try to hang on to that friendship because we don't want to be alone. We don't want to start over again. There are plenty of people, including myself, that has been in situations with individuals that did not serve our better good. And we stayed in those relationships because we were afraid to move away from those people because of the familiarity that those people gave us. And one thing I know about God is that when he removes someone from your life, he replaces that person with someone better. So there are friends now that I can call associates that I no longer talk to on a regular basis. Actually don't talk to them at all. And they've been replaced with people that I talk to on a regular basis. I have some friends that we talk pretty much every day. And it's not on the phone or anything like that. It's just through text. We may send a meme to each other or a video, and that'll spark a conversation between us, and we'll just have a dialogue. A real friend is going to be in your corner even when they don't need anything. A real friend is going to call you or come see you even when they don't need anything. If someone is calling you when they need something, and that's the only time that you hear from them, those aren't friends. Those are opportunists. And there are a lot of opportunists that many people think are friends, and they're not. And that's also something that I've had to learn in my life. Why? Because we were created for connection. We don't want to be lonely. No one wants to be lonely. Again, there are times in our lives where we need to be by ourselves, but that's not our whole life. There are times that you need to be around other people. And you kind of know when you have someone who has not really been sociable, because they're odd, if that makes sense. You could tell that they aren't around a lot of people all the time. It's just something I can kind of sense that in my spirit. And there may be some people who are just nervous being around other people. And that's, I have a daughter like that. She's nervous around new people. But once she gets to know that person, she kind of opens up. I was kind of like that as well when I was younger. So I guess she got that from me. But we were created for connection. I'd rather be loved, needed, depended on to give the love that I can give when you're gone. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe, and positive energy activates constant elevation. Peace.